Hi, welcome to Adventure Recaps. Today I will talk about the movie titled World War Z. In a suburban house, Gerry and his family start their day. They have breakfast together, and Gerry reveals that he left his previous job to spend more time with them. On the way to school, they encounter traffic and notice unusual helicopter activity. Suddenly, chaos erupts as news of a rabies outbreak spreads through the radio. An explosion occurs and a truck clears the street, prompting Gerry to follow it for an escape route. They drive through a city overrun by zombies, narrowly avoiding crashes and witnessing horrifying attacks. Eventually, they find refuge in an RV and manage to escape the city. Rachel, their daughter, has an asthma attack, causing a moment of panic. They receive a call from Gerry's former colleague, Thierry, who promises to send help. In Newark, they search for essential supplies and encounter armed individuals. Karen, Gerry's wife, is attacked, but they fight back and secure the necessary items. They regroup and head to an apartment building, pursued by zombies. Gerry defends their position and leads the family upstairs, where they encounter another family seeking refuge. They settle in and listen to an emergency broadcast warning about a spreading virus. Gerry wakes up from a nightmare and discovers Rachel and Thomas, the other family's son, together. Gerry attempts to persuade the other family to join them, but is declined. As they leave the apartment, they hear the zombies inside and race toward the roof. Gerry's family hides while the other family debates joining them, but ultimately falls victim to the zombies. Gerry and his family make a daring escape to the rooftop, where they light flares to signal the approaching chopper. Gerry stays behind momentarily to observe Thomas, who killed a zombie, ensuring he doesn't turn. He then rushes to hold the door against the approaching zombies. The chopper lands, and Karen and the children board with the assistance of a soldier covering Gerry's back. The zombies throw themselves at the helicopter, but eventually fall off the building. The chopper lands on a UN ship in the Atlantic Ocean, where Thierry greets them. They are directed to their bunks, and Thierry informs Gerry that they won't be anchoring again. In the command station, they discuss finding the virus origin and developing a vaccine. Fastback is identified as the best candidate to investigate in South Korea, and Gerry is chosen to accompany him. Initially refusing due to his family, Gerry is coerced by the general, who threatens to kick his family off the ship if he doesn't comply. Gerry confides in Karen, gives her a phone, and promises to return. He bids farewell to his daughters and Thomas before departing on a plane with Fastback. In South Korea, they encounter zombies while disembarking. Fastback accidentally shoots himself in a panic. The soldiers fight off the zombies and proceed to the base without him. Gerry informs the soldiers about Fastback and discusses refueling with the pilot. Captain Speak informs Gerry that the zombies are attracted to noise and headshots are the most effective way to kill them. They burn the bodies whenever possible. Gerry reveals the memo mentioning the word zombie and is taken to a room with burned bodies, where they explain that the doctor bit all the soldiers who tried to detain him. They suspect that a missing soldier infected the doctor, but the documents linking them were destroyed. Gerry talks to a former CIA agent in holding, who mentions that Israel is winning the war by building a wall around Jerusalem. The agent provides Gerry with information about someone to find in Jerusalem. Gerry decides to go to Jerusalem and informs his pilot. The soldiers prepare Gerry and his team for the mission, and they ride bikes while being protected by snipers. They must reach the plane quietly before refueling can begin. However, when Gerry's phone rings, the noise attracts the zombies. They continue to move forward while Speak takes down a group of zombies with the fuel truck. During the chaos, Speak sacrifices himself to save Gerry but gets bitten. Gerry boards the plane, and as it takes off, he witnesses Speak's suicide. One of Gerry's team members disconnects the fuel line while Gerry locks the cockpit door to prevent zombies from entering. As they fly, Gerry calls Karen and learns that the kids are okay. Suddenly, an explosion occurs and the call is cut off. The plane approaches Jerusalem and they request access to the Mossad agent Gerry is seeking. Gerry and his team arrive at the wall in Jerusalem, where they meet Jurgen Warnbrunn, a veteran agent. Warnbrunn explains that Israel learned about the zombie threat when they intercepted a communication from an Indian general mentioning fighting zombies. Gerry believes there is more to it, and Warnbrunn reveals a strategy called the 10th Man, where one person must dissent from the majority's conclusion. Warnbrunn, being the 10th man, had to consider the possibility that zombies were real. They reach the wall, and the celebration inside attracts the zombies, causing them to climb the wall. Inside Jerusalem, chaos ensues as the zombies infiltrate the city. Warnbrunn advises Gerry to seek a way to hide rather than find a cure. The zombies overrun Jerusalem, and Gerry escapes with Warnbrunn. They are pursued by zombies, and the Israeli army's attempts to stop them prove futile. Gerry witnesses a child being ignored by the zombies and realizes a potential solution. They are joined by other officers who sacrifice themselves to hold off the zombies. Gerry saves a female officer named Sagan by cutting off her hand to prevent the spread of the virus. They run toward a helicopter, but it crashes due to zombie attacks. Gerry sees his plane taking off and manages to board another plane with Sagan. The pilots are unsure where to go and the plane is surrounded by zombies, but they escape just in time. On the plane, Gerry tends to Sejan's wound and remembers stories of people who were immune to the virus. He calls his wife Karen and instructs her to find Thierry, informing him about a nearby research facility. Gerry hands his phone to the pilot, preparing for the next steps. After the conversation with Thierry, the pilot tells him that they will be going to WHO research facility. Suddenly, the zombies attack the plane. Gerry throws a grenade into the back of the plane. It shreds the plane, and the pilots have to make an emergency landing. The plane splits into bits upon impact. Later, Gerry wakes up, badly wounded by a piece of shrapnel. Suddenly, Segan shows up. They find their way to the facility. Meanwhile, the general is informed about the plane crash. Karen is being called in to talk to Thierry. He talks to his commander, who tells him to kick Karen and the kids off the ship. Back at the facility, Gerry is having delusions and nightmares. He wakes up and sees his wound dressed, then notices someone sitting next to him. As soon as Gerry wakes up, the man consults with someone else in another room. They come back and ask him who he is. They show him the phone, so he says to call it and find out who he is. Thierry is surprised that Gerry is alive and then introduces himself to the men. Before they can answer, Gerry asks about Karen, and Thierry tells him what happened. Later, Gerry is out of the restraints and they bring Segan in to see him. They say that his family has been sent to a refugee camp, but Gerry knows that they won't be safe there. The main WHO doctor asks him what he needs from them and takes him to his team. Gerry asks for their deadliest virus with a high mortality rate because he wants to use it against the zombies. They tell him that he can't make the undead sick, but Gerry explains that it's not for them, but for the humans. He thinks that the zombies' weakness is not being able to infect a sick host. Gerry's notion is that the people he saw being avoided by the zombies had a terminal disease that the zombies could sense, so they didn't attack. Using the lethal pathogen wouldn't be a cure but camouflage. One of the doctors understands his reasoning, so she explains that the only way to prove that would be to meet with a zombie face to face. She says that they have all the viruses, but they are all stored in the B-wing that's infested with around 80 zombies. Another doctor tells him that the zombies in the B-wing are dormant at the moment. He shows him how they can get there. Next, Gerry, Segan, and the lead doctor are preparing to go to the wing with the vaults and get the virus. Gerry and Segan also get weapons, though the doctors tell them not to kill any zombies because it makes the rest more aggressive. The three of them walk into the hallway. The lead doctor tells his subordinates to seal the doors for good if anything else but them comes through the hallway. The doctors monitor them for the safety of the other wing. Gerry walks in first and a light comes on as they slowly walk through the facility. They keep making noise and wake a few of the zombies a little. When they reach a lab with glass doors, Segan moves to the other side first, and the doctor, and lastly Gerry, without alerting the zombies. They continue to the vaults but make a noise with a flip door and wake up the zombies. They go through and arrive at the vaults. There is a zombie down there too, which hears them. Segan shoots her, prompting all the zombies to run toward them. Gerry distracts the zombies so the rest can get to the vault. Most of them get stuck behind a door. Only one follows Gerry. He takes it down without too much trouble. Suddenly, another one appears and Gerry gets him too. Segan and the doctor get to the vaults but run into more zombies. They run and are followed out. The other doctors open the doors for them even though they are chased by a group of zombies. They can barely manage to hold the door but still close it eventually. Running away, Gerry manages to get to the vault where the viruses are stored. He walks inside and tries to open the door when the phone rings. The doctor tells him the passcode and Gerry walks inside. He grabs every virus that can fit in a box. Suddenly, a zombie appears at the door, and Gerry is left with no other choice but to inject himself with one of the viruses. He gives the others a message for his family, prepares one of the viruses, and injects it into his arm. Gerry waits for the virus to take hold while the zombie is still outside of the vault. After a while, he decides to open the door. The zombie walks in, but it doesn't attack him. Gerry drinks a can of soda and releases the mechanism on the soda machine to distract the zombies and get them moving in the other direction. He walks back to the main facility without the zombies giving him any trouble. The doctors give him a vaccine and he leaves the facility with Segan. Gerry goes to find his family in the refugee camp. All of them are there waiting for him. Meanwhile, his idea gets spread out to the entire world. The WHO comes up with a vaccine that works as camouflage, helping people become invisible to zombies. It gives humankind a chance to fight them off. Humans have also devised strategies to annihilate entire hordes of zombies with either fire or with bombs. Survivors find each other and get prepared for a war that's just beginning. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for more.